Hello students, today we will be starting with a new topic, human genetic disorder. Now see children, what is the meaning of genetic disorder? I think so this we have already discussed in our previous classes also. That is a disease that is transferred from one generation to the other generation is known as genetic disorder. Okay, so what we can write, that is the disease that transferred from one generation to the next. Okay, now see, this genetic disorder is a congenital disease. So what we can write, that is they are congenital disease, and the meaning of congenital disease is the symptoms of the disease appear since birth. So what we can write down, that is appear since birth. Clear? So this is the meaning of the genetic disorder. Now how this genetic disorder occurs? It can be because of incompatible gene. That is because of the wrong or faulty gene. Clear? Or we can say that it may be because of the abnormalities in the structure of chromosome. Clear? Like abnormalities in the structure or behavior of the chromosome. So these are the two major factors for the genetic disorder. Okay. Now what we can say that, okay, along with the incompatible gene we can write down also that is faulty gene. Clear? Now we can classify this genetic disorder into two. So see what are the classification, that is genetic disorder classification. We can classify this genetic disorder into the two. One is called as Mendelian disorder and another is called as chromosomal disorder. Now see children, Mendel has done all his experiments on a factor. Okay, that is he did all his experiment on gene. Clear? So if there is any disorder present in the gene, then that is called as the Mendelian disorder. Okay, right. Now I have told you that genetic disorder means incompatible gene or faulty gene. So if the gene will be faulty or incompatible, that is not sufficient to work properly, then we can say that it is a Mendelian disorder. And if in case there is any problem in the chromosome, then we can say that that disease is a chromosomal disorder. Okay, now one by one we will see what is the meaning of Mendelian disorder and what is the meaning of chromosomal disorder. Now see, Mendelian disorder. Mendelian disorder. Okay. This disorder can be determined by the alteration of gene. As I told you that Mendel worked on the gene, and that's why if there is any faulty gene, then that is called as the Mendelian disorder. So what we can write down, determined by, it is mainly determined by alteration of gene. Alteration of gene. That is, if there is any change in the structure of the gene, then it will cause the Mendelian disorder. That is, it will cause the genetic disorder. Point number 1. Next point we can write down. It can be transmitted. Okay, what? It can be transmitted on the principle of inheritance. Now we have already read about the principle of the inheritance, that is the disease which is present, or we can say that the dominant gene which are passing from one generation to the other generation, they are showing their trait. Okay, sometime according to the Mendel laws, sometime the recessive genes, they are also capable of showing their own trait. Okay, so these are transmitted on the principle of the inheritance. Next, these diseases can easily detectable by pedigree analysis. In case of pedigree analysis, we have done about the hemophilia, color blindness. Okay, so very easily we can detect this disease in the pedigree analysis. Now, point number 4. Mendelian disorder, that is Mendelian disorder may be dominant or recessive. Okay, it can be dominant or recessive. In our book, we will basically discuss about the recessive disease. Okay, next, one more point. This genetic disorder can cause on both the types of chromosome, that is on the autosomes as well as on the chromosome, sex chromosomes. Okay, so if the gene present on the autosome is become faulty, then that will be the Mendelian disorder of autosome. And if the gene which is present on the sex chromosome is faulty, then that is called as the Mendelian disorder on sex chromosome. Okay, and both of them can be dominant or recessive. That is, we can have autosomes dominant and recessive. We can have sex chromosome dominant and recessive. So here we will discuss about few Mendelian disorder which is recessive autosomes, as well as we will discuss about few diseases which is recessive sex chromosomal disorder. Clear? So now let us begin with some of the diseases. Now children, we have already discussed about some of the diseases in our previous lectures. Okay, so write down, this is Mendelian disorder. Okay, this Mendelian disorder, here we will discuss about the recessive. Okay, now it can be autosome or it can be sex chromosome. Okay, in case of autosomes, we have few diseases like sickle cell anemia, then we have phenyl ketonuria, then we have thalassemia, and we have albinism. All these 4 diseases are autosomal recessive disorder. Okay, autosomal recessive disorder. Then we will see some of the sex chromosome disease, and that is hemophilia as well as color blindness. Clear? Now see children, about hemophilia and color blindness we have already studied in the class 10th. Okay, and I think so when I was teaching you in the pedigree analysis, I taught you the pleiotropy, I taught you some compatible genes and all. Then in those lectures I have already taught you about the color blindness as well as the hemophilia. Okay, so here I'll give you once revision. Now see, if we talk about the sex chromosomal disease, then what we can write down, that is also called as the sex linked disease. Sorry. Now see what I was telling you, it is also called as the sex-linked disease or X-linked disease because these faulty genes are present on the X chromosome, and that's why children, if mothers are having any disease or any problem, then that will be visible in the son, and this is called as the crisscross. Just in the previous video I have taught you this thing. Okay, see, suppose if the father is having X and Y chromosome and mother is having X and X chromosome. Now there are two diseases, one is color blindness and another is hemophilia. Now suppose if mother is a carrier of hemophilia, okay, now because it is a sex chromosome, and if any faulty gene is present on the sex chromosome, then the disease will transmit to the son. See, if we will draw the gametes will be like this. Now all these things are very much clear to you. Okay, now what happens if we cross them in a checkerboard? Then come to this X and H, normally X, normal X and Y. Now daughter will be carrier. This is very simple now. Okay, this daughter is also carrier. Oh sorry, normal daughter. Now X, H and Y, and if or any one X chromosome is defective, then definitely they are going to show the disease. Clear? Because it is sex linked recessive. Now see, let me come to the next, X and Y, normal son. So we got the four possibilities. What are the four possibilities? That is one female carrier, one female normal, one male diseased and one male normal. Okay, so these are the symptoms of like the disease that has been transmitted from the mother to the son. Mother to the son. And as I told you children, that this disease is recessive X-linked disease. So if anyone is present, if any one faulty gene is present on any one of the X chromosome, then what happens in that case? The condition will be the carrier. Okay, but what happens in case of male? All the males has only one X chromosome, and if that will be faulty, then definitely males are going to have the disease. So this means that females always transmit the disease to their sons, and from the father the disease get transmitted to the daughter. Okay, so this is all about the hemophilia as well as the color blindness. Even the same situations we can write down for the color blindness. You can write down C here because it is also the X-linked disease. So we can write down C here. So for the color blindness and the hemophilia, we'll have the same result. And if you want to go for more detail, then I think so you can check in the video of class 10th, video number 15 and 16. Okay, because you people have already read all these things in the class 10, and I have taught them in detail. So if you want to go very detailed, then you can see those videos. Now we come to the next, and the next is autosomal recessive diseases. Autosomal diseases. Autosomal disease means the disease which is present on any of the autosome. We all know that we all have the 23 pair of chromosomes, and out of that 22 pair are autosomes, and the last one will be the sex chromosome. Okay, so if the disease is present on any of the autosomal chromosome, then that is called as the autosomal disease. And if the disease is recessive, then we will call them as a autosomal recessive disorder. Now children, there are sickle cell anemia. Okay, as well as phenylketonuria. Now, this two disease I have already taught you. Sickle cell anemia, I told you that the shape of the RBC get distorted, and in phenylketonuria there is a problem of mental retardation. Again, these two diseases we have already discussed in detail in your video number 36 and 37. So if you'll go and see that video once again, if you not remember that, then you will get the details of these two diseases, and then you can revise it from there. Along with this, one more autosomal recessive disease is albinism. And again, we did one complete lecture on the albinism, and that was video number 38. Okay, I told you that in case of albinism, there is no formation of the pigment that is called as the melanin, and because of that, the color of the human skin as well as the hairs, they disappear. Okay, complete whitish body because of the absence of the pigment that is called as the melanin. Okay, and we did the detail, we have seen that how the genes get transmitted and how a person can have the albinism disease. Clear? So these things you can go to the previous videos, you can revise it from there. Now we have one more autosomal recessive disease, and that is thalassemia. See, thalassemia is a disease in which the protein chain of the hemoglobin is not synthesized. What we can write down? Protein chain of hemoglobin is not synthesized, or we can write down it is poorly synthesized. Clear? We have two types of protein chain. One is called as the alpha amino acid chain, and another is the beta amino acid chain. Now, on the basis of alpha and beta, we can have the two types of thalassemia. Number one is thalassemia A. Okay. This is also known as minor thalassemia. Why it is called as a normal thalassemia? Because it is caused due to heterozygous condition. Okay, that is on a gene, that is on a autosome. Suppose this is the autosome. If only one gene has become faulty, okay, then what will happen? Definitely this is the recessive. And if this is recessive and only one gene is faulty, it means a person will have the disease of thalassemia, but that will be in the minor condition. And that's why we used to write that it is due to heterozygous condition. Clear? That is, out of a pair of alleles, if only one gene gets faulty, then the disease will be recessive. Definitely the disease is recessive and the person will show the thalassemia in the minor condition. Second is thalassemia B. Okay, and this is also called as thalassemia major. This disease is also called as Cooley's disease. Okay, now it is caused due to homozygous condition. That is, if the both autosomes are faulty. If both the autosomes are faulty, then definitely the condition is the homozygous. And if the condition is homozygous, then person will show the disease in the major quantity, major amount, and that's why it is called as the thalassemia major. Okay. Now see, what happens in case of thalassemia? In this case, the bone marrow which used to synthesize your RBC is not working properly. Okay. That is, the bone marrow that used to form your RBC is not working properly, or it works very poor. What I mean to say that, what is the major symptom of the disease? And the disease is the bone marrow excuse me children. Now see, I was telling you that bone marrow which synthesize RBC, okay, are not working properly. Why they are not working properly? Because RBC are small in size and short-lived. Okay. Because of the defect in the protein chain, the RBCs become short-lived and then the size of the RBC becomes small. And if the size becomes small and they become very short-lived, then definitely they will not synthesize RBC, or the poor synthesis of the RBC will be there. Okay, then that will cause the disease named as thalassemia. Now see children, this disease can be classified according to which chain of the hemoglobin gets affected. So what we can write down, this disease can be classified on the basis of which chain of the hemoglobin get affected. Okay, which chain of the hemoglobin get affected. Now, there are the two chains. One is called as alpha chain and beta chain of hemoglobin. Now, it depends upon whether alpha chain of hemoglobin is affected or beta chain of hemoglobin is affected. Okay. Now, in case of alpha thalassemia, protein of alpha globin chain is affected. Okay. And in case of beta thalassemia, protein of beta globin chain is affected. Now see children, on the basis of the defective chain of hemoglobin, we can say that there are the two types of disease. Okay, how we can say that? On the basis of the chain of the hemoglobin get affected. And we all know that there are two chains of hemoglobin. One is called as alpha chain, another is called as beta chain. If alpha chain is affected, it means the protein of the alpha globin chain is affected. Then we can call it as alpha thalassemia. Clear? And if the beta globin chain is affected, that is, if the beta chain of the hemoglobin is affected, then we can call it as a beta thalassemia. So, on the basis of the chain of the hemoglobin, we can say that, or we can classify the thalassemia into the two. One is alpha thalassemia and another is beta thalassemia. Now see children, alpha thalassemia. Now we will see that what is alpha and what is beta thalassemia. Alpha thalassemia is controlled by, here I am writing alpha thalassemia and here I will write beta thalassemia. Okay. Alpha thalassemia is controlled by two genes. Clear? What are the two genes? HbA1 and HbA2. Okay? And now, beta thalassemia is controlled by one gene only. Clear? And one gene means HbB. As I told you that it is the autosomal disease, and hence what we can say that this gene is present on the 16th chromosome. Okay, out of 23 pair of chromosome, that faulty gene is present on the 16th chromosome. Clear? And this is present on 11th chromosome. Beta chain or the beta thalassemia. Okay. So what we can say that if 16th chromosome, okay, of the alpha chain get affected, then we can say that there is a alpha thalassemia. And if 11th chromosome, that is containing the gene HbB, if this get faulty, then we can say that the disease is beta thalassemia. Getting my point? That is, we all have the chromosomes, and chromosome number 16 is responsible for the control of thalassemia because it contains the two genes. And what are the two genes? HbA1, HbA2. Okay. And these genes are present on 16th chromosome. If these genes get faulty or if they will not work properly, then a person will have alpha thalassemia. In the same way, HbB gene is present on the chromosome number 11 and then it is controlling the beta thalassemia. That is, it is controlling the beta chain of the hemoglobin, and if it does not work properly, then a person will get the disease of beta thalassemia. Clear? Now see, what happens in case of alpha thalassemia. If alpha thalassemia is there, then there will be less production of alpha chain of hemoglobin. Clear? And here there is less production of beta chain of hemoglobin. Okay. If alpha is less, and what happens then? Excess production of beta chain in adults and excess production of delta chains in newborn or infants. Okay, so there is a disease of alpha thalassemia, then less production of alpha chain, and reverse of that, there will be maximum production of the beta chain. Okay, and there will be the delta chain in case of newborn. Just opposite of this, less production of beta chain, then we can write down excess production of alpha chain. Okay, and that's why, children, in case of genetics, each and everything should be perfect. It should be 100% perfect. Okay, if the gene is present somewhere, then equal number of genes should be there. If the gene is synthesizing some protein, or if the gene is synthesizing something, some enzyme or anything, then everything should be 100% perfect. If there will be an abnormality of a 0.1%, then it can cause the disease. And that's why, if less production of alpha chain is there and maximum production of beta chain, then definitely there will be a problem. Okay, if there is less production of beta chain and excess production of alpha chain, then definitely there will be a problem. And that's why everything should be perfect in the genetics. We cannot say that, okay, there is a problem of one chromosome, then it doesn't matter. No, definitely there will be a great matter of concern if any gene or any chromosome become faulty, and that is called as genetic disorder. So children, this is all about the Mendelian genetic disorder. Now we will see some chromosomal disorder. Okay.